On November 6th, voters in California will be faced with a ballot containing two competing propositions, Proposition 30 and Proposition 38. Both aim to increase revenue for the state government and help to fill a large gap in funding for K-12 schools and state colleges. Proposition 30, crafted by Governor Jerry Brown, would raise California's sales tax by a quarter percentage point for the next 4 years. It would also raise the income tax for those Californians making more than $250,000. The changes would raise $6 billion annually for the state until 2017. Those tax revenues would flow into the state's general fund and be available for budgeting. UC students should know that if Proposition 30 fails, mid-year cuts to state funding for the UC will be automatically triggered. These trigger cuts would cut funding to the university by $250 million, and UC Berkeley would likely face a $50 million cut. The UC regents have stated that in the event of trigger cuts, students could see tuition hikes of up to 20%. Unlike Governor Brown's plan, Proposition 38 will raise income taxes on almost all residents. Still, the vast majority of new revenues would come from tax increases on the wealthiest Californians. The Legislative Analyst's Office estimates that Prop 38 would bring in about $10 billion annually in new tax revenue. Proposition 38, backed by wealthy California attorney Molly Munger, also plans on raising taxes to garner revenue. Should it pass, for the first 4 years, 60% of new revenues will go towards K-12 schools, 30% towards paying down state debt, and 10% towards early childhood programs. Thereafter, 85% of revenues will go towards K-12 schools and 15% towards early childhood programs. Opponents of both propositions have claimed that the tax increases would hurt California's small businesses. But the greatest threat for Governor Brown and Molly Munger may be each other's proposition. Since both measures advocate different changes to the personal income tax code, they're considered to be conflicting tax measures. According to California state law, when income tax measures conflict, the one with the most yes votes prevails. For example, if both Proposition 30 and Proposition 38 pass, but Proposition 38 garners more votes, income tax rates would increase as dictated by Proposition 38, and the fate of Proposition 30's sales tax increase would be left up to the courts. But the trigger cuts would still be enacted. So to quickly summarize, Proposition 30 would increase the income tax for the wealthiest Californians and raise the sales tax. Those new tax revenues would go into the state general fund and prevent the implementation of mid-year trigger cuts to various state programs. Proposition 38 would raise the income tax across the board and direct the new revenues towards K-12 schools, early childhood programs, and paying down the state debt.